Hello, good evening and welcome and happy International Women's Day. Welcome, I'm Samantha and I'm going to take you through a gorgeous chat this evening. It'd be really amazing if you would contribute as well to the chat. So write in the comments any questions you've got, fire away. Any tips that you might have as well, please do feel free to share because it's going to be useful to other women as well. And not just women but men too. Alright, so for our International Women's Day today, with me obviously being a fitness instructor, I just thought it would be a really great opportunity to chat with you about health and wellness today, women's health and wellness. So I'm going to go through some different bits and bobs with you, and it would be great if you would, as I say, join in the chat, write in the comments, drop an emoji in, tell me how you're doing, how you're feeling. So we're talking about health and wellbeing for women during lockdown, coming out of lockdown, and just ways that we can keep ourselves balanced, really. So thinking about maybe our food, our water intake, workouts, meditations, and also how much sleep are you getting. Katie, good evening, welcome. Happy International Women's Day. How are we all doing? Are you good? Are you good? Loving all the emojis. Very happy, very positive. Happy International Women's Day to everyone. Amazing. Because yeah, it's worth celebrating. We are all amazing. And what a year we have come through. So I wanted to pose to you as well some questions as well tonight. So I would love to ask you if you make time for your own health and well-being, and have you done during lockdown? So I know that some people might have found this quite difficult for many different reasons, not necessarily just time, but because of emotion as well. So much has happened over the last year. You know, that have we taken time to look after ourselves as much as we possibly could? Hopefully you have, but if not, I'm going to go through a few tips tonight to be able to help with that as well. Good evening, welcome. If you just join in, drop a note in the comments. Tell me, do you make time for yourself and your health and well-being? Have you done during lockdown? Are you looking forward to now spring is coming and that prospect of being outside a bit more now as well? Hopefully the weather's going to get a bit better. Are you feeling like, yeah, I feel like now's the time to get moving and take care of my own health and wellness as well. So the kids have gone back to school today as well. That's a massive thing. Katie, have your boys gone back to school now? I know some are going in sort of in stages, so not everyone's all gone back all at once. This music's really nice, isn't it? Just like zoning out in the background. Yeah, but it's a perfect chance though. I know a lot of people might have been like, you know what, it's been too stressful during lockdown to be able to work, look after the kids and find time for myself to do some exercise or meditation, or even to think about my dietary intake. And I get it. You know, that it's just been a crazy year. But with the kiddies going back now, you know, and as I say, that prospect of spring, we're going to be able to meet some people outdoors soon, hopefully, is the plan. Then is now the time. I think now is the time. It's the perfect time for you to start prioritizing yourself more and celebrating yourself. Good evening, Pauline. Welcome. So just chatting. So how have you managed to make some time for yourself? And if not, are you looking forward to doing that now spring is coming? Looking forward to warmer weather to get out more and sit in the garden. I know. And that prospect, as I say, that we're going to be able to perhaps meet up with 6 people outside. And what have we been doing this last year? So some people I know may have been doing lots of exercise, which is amazing because it does really help with our mental health as well, isn't it? I think more than anything, it's so important for our mental health to be able to get moving. Okay, and it's how it makes you feel as well, definitely. So yeah, we need to give ourselves a spring clean. We do, definitely. Spring is coming. Now is the time, definitely. So it's so amazing. I know some of you in the chat tonight do my classes, which is awesome. But there will be some people as well that perhaps haven't done anything at all over lockdown, and that's fair enough. Now is the time, if that is you. Kids have started to go back to school. Spring is in the air. Although it has been a little chilly here today. I don't know what the weather's been like where you are. But we are hoping that we're going to be able to get a little bit more sunshine coming. And I'm going to be starting as well next week a 2-week program which is called Spring into Life. So that sort of the hopeful thing of spring coming and just being able to move a little bit more. So part of that is going to be, I'm going to be doing a workout with you. So you're going to get 15 to 30-minute workout. You're also going to get recipes. Okay, so it's not going to be like a meal plan as such, but with I've got some brilliant graphics to share with you with some amazing meals. They look so tasty. Can't wait to try them as well, for sure. We'll also be talking about our water intake, our sleep, and our steps. So it's going to be little mini goals for you each day at the start of in the first week, and then in the second week, starting to get into behaviours and patterns to take that forward into our lives as a lifestyle, really. So how's Katie been getting on? Yes, all in. Hallelujah. All the kids are back. She says, hallelujah. All the boys are back in school today. Felt amazing to have some headspace. Wow, I can understand that, sure. Because I'm sure you love them, and I know you love them to pieces, but it is a big responsibility as well, isn't it? So yeah, I spent my morning doing Zumba and a nice walk. Fabulous. Feeling motivated to travel. Oh, bless you. And I don't think you'll be alone there, Katie. I think you probably speak for a lot of mums out there for sure. Eating and drinking clean and getting out. And of course, oh, beautiful. I think you definitely, you've hit one of the nails on the head there. Definitely, Katie. Now's such an amazing time to get that oomph. If you are perhaps someone who's got the kids gone back to school like Katie, perhaps, you have had a little bit of a slump. We all have, I'm sure. I mean, I defy anyone. I don't know anyone that hasn't had a moment in this last year where it's just been like, yeah. Some not so, happy, positive moments, have they? There's been some tough times, but we know now, and we hope now that that's going to start changing. And I just really want to be here for you to help you with that on your path. With things like helping with your fitness, your health, and your well-being, for sure. That does touch on a question actually that I was going to say is, has lockdown affected your well-being? I'm sure it has. How has it changed your well-being? How has it changed your health? Have you been perhaps someone who's eaten a little bit too much, or have you been someone that's been like, no, I'm gonna take control, and that's been your way of dealing with it by doing more exercise? I think it's different for everyone because all our circumstances have changed. Some people might be gym people, some might be class people, some people might not have done anything at all. And it's changed, hasn't it? But yeah, how has it affected your well-being? I think for me, I do miss the face-to-face style of being able to see people and do some classes. Although I do absolutely love online as well. It's been an amazing way that we can connect with each other and still keep moving. And I've really loved the fact that I can try out some different classes with different people as well, and try out different styles. And it's just so convenient, isn't it? All right, so talking about time management then. So when do we find that time? So we think, like Katie's touched on, now the kids have gone back to school, that it's a really great time for people to be able to put that time aside for yourself. So my mental health has suffered, but glad to do online. Do you know, I know, Lisa, it has, and mine has as well, as I'll be honest, I think all of ours has, because we've had to make such massive changes to our lives. And and sacrifices, like literally make sacrifices, not be there with our friends and families, not be there to hold or hug new members of families and just things like that, Yeah, it's been tough, but it is good to do the online classes for sure. I think for me, if I hadn't had this platform to be able to connect with you online, I don't know what I would have done. It's just been phenomenal. And the way that we've all just embraced that has been just sensational. If you haven't embraced it yet, there is still time. It's never too late. Or if you're someone that has perhaps did a few classes and then you've not been for a little while, you are more than welcome to come back again. So this is something that I just wanted to stress as well. Don't be afraid to start doing some exercise, taking care of yourself and your health, your fitness, your well-being, physical, mental health, all that. Don't be afraid to start exercising. Or if you've done a little bit and you've stopped for a while, don't be afraid to restart. Really, really don't be afraid of that. So Katie, I've gained quite a lot since last lockdown and no motivation. Change of weather has lifted me. Weather it does have a massive impact. I'm with you there. As soon as the sun's shining, you get that sensation, don't you? Of feeling just a little bit better and a bit brighter when the sun comes out. And of course, your vitamin D. Mental health issues may trigger bad eating habits. You won't, I'm sure other people will be the same, but I've pulled myself together. And sometimes it is that, giving yourself like really just having a word with yourself and being like, right, okay, recognizing that's just a massive thing. And that's amazing if you've managed to do that, Katie, and anyone else as well, is recognizing perhaps if you have got into some bad eating habits and or any kind of, not necessarily eating, but fitness habits, as in not doing anything. Oh, sorry, I just needed some water chatting there. It's good, this conversation, so keep it going. It is really interesting. So I put weight on a nibble in front of the TV during lockdowns. Hadn't had self at any classes. Oh, brilliant. Oh, good. I'm glad they've kept you moving, definitely. Oh, mama. If I hadn't had the online club, I'd probably been a couch potato. I'll keep you moving. I will keep you moving. I'll get you off that couch for sure. Definitely. Pauline's looking forward to a little bit more normality, but I'm also a little nervous. Do you know, Pauline, I'm with you there. And I don't know why, because so prior to the pandemic, and I know you as well, used to travel all over the show. And quite often, because I used to work for an airline, I would just turn up at the airport with a packed bag and just see where I ended up. Jump on a plane that had an empty seat on it. Yeah, I would do zip lining. I would dangle off the edges of buildings. But I think you're not alone there, because I'm the same. Now it's like, oh, now we might be going a bit out. Are you nervous? Is anybody else as well? Maybe a little bit nervous. Hopefully you're not, but I totally get that, Pauline. I do totally get that. That little bit of apprehension, isn't there? And it's just because I think, obviously, I'm not a psychologist or anything. This is only my opinion. I think it's because we've become so conditioned now to stay at home, stay at home, stay at home, stay 2 meters away, stay 2 meters away. We've almost we've trained our brains to think in that way, haven't we? But if we can do that, we can reverse that. We've got the power in our minds to be like, okay, we can retrain our brains. We always can. We're so adaptable, and we've proven that in the last year. So you'll be fine, Pauline. We'll be fine. Definitely will be. Definitely will be. I think, it has definitely impacted all of us, hasn't it, in some ways, in our mental health, our well-being, for sure. So now it's really about just keeping moving and trying to move forward with that. So that's why I really want to help you guys with that, to continue through our classes and also through this spring back to life that I'm going to start next week. How's Lisa? Can't back to work until April. Okay, fair enough. Katie says, Women owe it to ourselves. We do, and men as well. But it's International Women's Day, and we're celebrating that today. It's important that you make time for yourself. It's defo the time. Try not to look at the negative, but take it. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Why would taking time out for you be negative or selfish? It's not. And I know that's not what you're saying, Katie. You're saying the opposite, which is fabulous. Some people might think that though, like, oh, self-care. When have I got time for that? I've got to look after everyone else. I've got to look after the kids. I've got to look after my partner. Maybe you've got elderly parents you might need to look after, or if you're a carer for someone, perhaps. You have to. You just absolutely have to. You cannot run a tank on empty. It's not about being selfish. It's about being human. We all need to put that petrol in the car to keep it going, for sure. And yeah, taking control of how you feel, empowering yourself. I love that, Katie. Definitely taking control. It's great. It's a great phrase. Me too, Pauline. Used to love walking around all the shops, but not now. And it's just baby steps. We'll get used to it. We'll get used to going back. It's just a little bit different, isn't it? Because we've been conditioned one way now, but we'll be able to step back out in that big world, and we will all be fine. I promise. Definitely. So talking about from a women's point of view as well, when we've been feeling a little bit stressed out. Stress has a massive impact on your mood, excuse me, and your well-being, excuse me. So thinking about your hormones as well, they have a massive impact on your mood, your self-esteem, just your whole day. It can have a whole impact on your whole day. And it depends where you are as a woman in your life. So if you're still having a regular cycle, then maybe a couple of days before the first day of your cycle is when you're perhaps more irritable and you're feeling grotty and anxious and and you're just like angry all the time. Or is that just me? So, excuse me, just having a little water there. So yeah, that can happen. Or perhaps if you're going through the menopause and then you're dealing with all that, the lowering of the levels of your hormones, or indeed if you're past menopause and you actually have less estrogen now, okay, and that can have a big impact for sure. So hormones play a massive part. Are you the same, Katie? Yeah, it's not just me then. Yeah, can. And so, not just from a female point of view, but hormones, well, everyone has similar hormones, don't we? But different levels depending on your gender. When we talk about hormones and mood, so one thing that you can really do to lift your mood is exercise, because and I've said this a few times before and I'll always say it. I strongly believe that if you could put all the benefits of exercise into a little pill, people would be popping that pill every day. Because everybody knows how wonderful exercise is for us. It is literally like medicine. It is magical. Okay, and the feelings that you get after you do it is just euphoric. All right, and so it's because when we exercise, we start to release hormones such as dopamine and serotonin, endorphins, but all these kind of happy hormones, as I like to call them. They're all just associated with pleasure, with happiness, and they all just like be rushing to your brain, and they send those happy messages. And I know myself, like when I've had a down day, particularly sometimes in lockdown, if I have been feeling quite low mentally, and I just would like to share with you. So sometimes, like some days I might be like, oh, I'm just not feeling it, and now I have to go live and be on camera in front of a group of people and motivate them, and I don't have any motivation myself. How am I going to do this? But you just have to say to yourself, right, okay, I'm going to do this. You you get on with it. And actually, when you do that workout, my goodness, the difference in the mood, it's just euphoric. It's sensational. Like, I can't even tell you. You just have to experience it. I don't know, does anyone else agree that after you've done that exercise, you just feel so much better? Lisa, exercise really does lift energy and spirits, especially club size and Zumba. Yeah, because they're like happy, dancey, the music, the energy, for sure. I'm with you, Lisa. Definitely. Does anyone else feel that sensation of euphoria after you've done a workout? I feel so happy after a session of dancing, music, and seeing everyone. That's so lovely. Definitely. It is. You just feel so much happier after you've done a workout. And I think I've always said, even before the pandemic, my classes have always been about fitness, dance, well-being. It's never been, right, let's look a certain way, let's be a certain size, let's go on a crash diet. No. It is about moving to make yourself feel good. Yes, you will lose weight. That's a byproduct. Yes, you might end up starting to look a certain way. Great. Again, it's a byproduct. Yeah, do you agree? You agree? That's amazing. So I know some people might be like, yeah, okay, I need to exercise, but I'm not fit enough. But I do think that might just stem from an insecurity of people thinking that, oh my goodness, I don't want to step into an exercise class because I feel like everyone else there is going to be super fit and super slim and have amazing coordination. And it's not necessarily the case. Yes, there might be some people there like that. Great. Not everybody will be. And everybody is looking at you either. I think sometimes people think when they go to an exercise class, just because from what people have told me and from what I've seen over the years, they kind of, it's a self-conscious thing. So some people might come and they'll stand right at the back of the room and they'll go right to the back and they want to hide at the back. And I wonder if that's something that, from an online platform point of view, people have stayed away from doing online because they think people can see them on a camera and that people are going to be watching them doing a workout. It simply is not the case. I cannot stress enough, it is not the case, because I promise you, everyone is so worried about themselves. They don't care about everybody else. No one's going to be looking at you and going like, oh, that person there over and they're not quite squatting low enough, or that person quite over there. No one's doing that, I promise you. They're just thinking about themselves and getting their own workout. So don't be worried about that. How's Katie doing? So I think not seeing people has made me far too comfortable to not care about how I look. Okay, that's interesting. Really interesting. But we're all in this together. We totally are. I most definitely feel more lifted and positive after classes. It's a free drug. I know it is. It's like magic medicine. It really is. Definitely. Yeah, no, that's really interesting because we think no one can see us. So I don't think the full emphasis should be on how we look, but I do think we should feel happy with how we look. Yeah. So I don't think everyone fits into the same box. We are all different, especially like today on a day like International Women's Day. It's a day for us to celebrate our differences. You know, we are all different shapes and we're all different sizes, and that is just brilliant. You know, variety is the spice of life, as they say. But ultimately, you need to be happy, don't you? And I've actually written a blog on this as well. A bit, you can check it out on my website. I might repost it, but it's about how you feel when you look in the mirror, isn't it? You want to feel happy within yourself, definitely. But also from like a health point of view, one thing that is really positive as well that has come out of this is, you know, even the government are recognizing now how much exercise helps, for sure. And so it's going to be that, you know, more people are recognizing we need to do more exercise. Zoom classes have been amazing. You can hide from everyone, go for a shower. Perfect. That's a good point. If anyone is conscious about doing a Zoom class, you can turn your camera off. From my point of view as a teacher, I do love to be able to see you. because it's a much safer if I can. I will just keep my eye out watching people on the screen, not to pick anyone out and be like, oh, Sandra or whoever. I just made that name up because I don't have any Sandras in my group. Like, what's Sandra doing over there? No, that's not why I'm doing it. It's so that I can see if I need to adapt my teaching style to help you. So if I am teaching some choreography, for example, and I can see that no one's picking the choreography up, doesn't mean because they're rubbish. It actually might mean because I'm not teaching it very well. It might mean I need to slow down the pace or change the way I'm saying something. So it is better if I can see you, but please don't feel obligated to do that. So for sure. So it's going to talk about time management as well. Do you find the time to be able to do your health and your wellness? I think a lot of people in the chat right now probably do, that have added the comments because you guys do my classes. I don't know if there's anyone else watching that perhaps doesn't always find the time to be able to do your workouts or do your meditation or be able to plan your meals and things like that. So how do you do it then? So those that you are watching right now, how do you make sure you've got enough time to be able to do your workouts? I don't know, is it easier for those of you that are retired maybe, in terms of not having to go to work? Does that make it a little bit easier if you have a little bit more time in that sense? Or those of you that do work, do you use things like a schedule, a diary, things like that? So Lisa finds it hard to do holistic classes and meditation. Okay, why is that, Lisa, lovely? Tell me why. Because you are amazing at yoga. So tell me why you find it difficult. Like, do you mean in terms of time, or is it with what for yourself at the moment? So I think the best thing to do, and I think now the children have gone back to school, it will be really helpful for any parents and carers to be able to make that time for yourself a lot more. I think the best thing to do is to schedule it, okay? So a lot of the time people say, I can't exercise, I haven't got enough time, okay? But then if I was to say to you, well, have you got enough time to sit and play on your phone for half an hour? Have you got enough time to sit and watch Coronation Street? You know, have you got enough time just to sit and have a coffee? Great. You know, you have got time. We all have time, but it's how we utilize that time and how we choose to. Ultimately, it's how you choose to. I'm not here to give you a lecture on how, like, you have to do exercise and make time for it. Not at all. Like, it's your choice. And if you choose to make that time, then amazing, you are going to reap the benefits. So he says, being retired means you can rearrange things to fit in. Oh, okay, cool. Definitely. I think that's one of the benefits of online, though. So you don't have to fit to a timetable. So, for example, prior to the pandemic, I had a timetable with 10 classes on. I won't be having that moving forward in terms of 10 classes in the community. We will have community classes, but not 10. Some people that might go to gyms, you don't have to stick to a gym timetable anymore. When it's online, the perfect thing is you can pick it up, do your workout, put it down, it's done. Someone said earlier, yeah, you can have a coffee after class, you can go and have your shower and you're done. So Lisa says motivation and time studying and doggy entertainment. That's, isn't it? Yeah, so perhaps, you know, if you've got pets as well to look after, that's a thing. And of course with you studying, okay. So motivation, I know motivation, it's hard sometimes. So that's why I'm here. I'm going to help with that as well. Definitely help with that more with some Facebook Lives. So much easier finding the time living on my own. Fair enough, can please myself when I do things. So it has its advantages, definitely, Pauline. Definitely does. It definitely does. Ah, that's cool. That's cool. Hi, sorry I'm late to the party. No problem, Becky, no problem. Just happy International Women's Day. Just talking about well-being and finding the time for ourselves and reaping the benefits of that. So there's lots of things that come under the umbrella of health and wellness, and I could talk all day and all night, but I won't. But the main key factors are your exercise, your food, your water. Meditation is great. If you can do some meditation, it's so great for your mind. What was the other thing I was going to say? Sleep is a massive thing as well. If we can, I've actually been trying to get myself up earlier. I didn't, which was good because this morning it meant that I did a Facebook Live for you guys early this morning. So retraining yourself, you could go to bed maybe an hour or half an hour earlier or an hour earlier, so you get that bit more sleep. All right, and so you feel fresher when you wake up. I mean, I've got absolutely loads of tips on sleep because those people that know me well know that I like my sleep. And I've got lots of tips on that, which I'm going to share when we do our Spring to Life program next week. All right, and I'm also going to share some recipes as well. So some gorgeous graphics that I've got on how you can do some recipes. So if you would love to jump in on that Spring to Life, it's starting next week on Monday. It's going to run for 2 weeks in the run up to March 29th, which is the big day that we can potentially go out again a little bit more. So springing back into life, giving you some motivation and some tips, doing some 15, 30-minute workouts, meals, water, steps as well. Okay, so if you'd like some more info on that, let me know. Lisa, for the last few days, I've not been sleeping due to. Oh, well, I get that. Yeah, because you've got a lot going on, haven't you, Lisa, medically? So that's understandable. Trying Headspace meditation. Yeah, Headspace is good. I tend to use YouTube. I've got a few actually on my channel. If you just go to Samantha Derry in YouTube, I've posted some meditations in there that are free for everyone. The ones I like to do that I'd recommend as well on YouTube are the Honest Guys. Has anyone tried the Honest Guys? And also, what's his name? Jason Stevenson. That's it. I quite like the sleep hypnosis ones. I'm getting into those at the moment. That all sounds great. Love trying new recipes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's the Spring into Life program, which is starting next week on Monday for 2 weeks. It's just £12, which is an amazing price for the whole fortnight, including workouts, recipes, tips for water, sleep, meditation, and steps as well. So I'll definitely be starting that next week. For those that want to jump in on that, you can book that now. So we had some good chat. Something else that I was going to do as well, I'll just mention it now, I am live to you guys, is that I've been thinking about starting like an indoor walking running club. Okay, so you don't need any equipment, you just need some space in your house, preferably a hard floor rather than a carpet. So maybe in your kitchen or your dining room or something, or if you've got laminate in your living room. Okay, and some pair of trainers. That's all you need. So I'm going to be coming live a lot more on Facebook with some mini workouts, just free workouts for everyone to enjoy. And I'm thinking a little walking and running club. Some of my other Fit Pro friends have started doing this, and it's been really popular with their group. So I'm thinking of starting it for us as well. So it's really great cardio. It's really great for those days where it's raining and you want to get some steps in on your fitness devices. Taking mine off because I had a shower before. Gosh, we got sweaty in aerobics, didn't we? Side note. So if you fancy what do you reckon to that walking indoor walk run club? So we'll put some cardio music on like we use in our aerobics classes. And it's all like various ways of stepping, jogging, running on the spot, different directional changes. Nothing too intricate, but basically that anybody can do at home to get their steps up. Yes, love walking and running. Amazing. Yay. I'll do that then. I'll do that. What time do people that work in the day, what time do you tend to start work? It would be really great to know what time people tend to start work as to what time we could do a workout in the morning. So I did put a little poll out a couple of weeks ago, but wasn't much traction on it. Generally, people said 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'll be honest, I struggle to get up for 7:30, but I'll be up then, but to do a workout then. But I'll do it if that's what people want. Yeah, I think it will just help get people's steps up on their devices for sure. And people have been enjoying that in other groups, so I thought we'd try it for ours as well. All right. So we've had such an amazing talk this evening all about women's health and wellness and how it's affected us during lockdown, how we want to keep moving forward with it. As we come out of lockdown as well, keep going with it, keep going. If you haven't done any yet, don't be afraid to start. Don't be afraid to start doing some exercise. I know some people say, well, I'm not fit enough to exercise, so I can't do a class. But if you want to get fit, obviously the best way is to exercise. It's almost like saying, if you were wanting to learn a foreign language, for example, it's if saying that I'm not fit enough to exercise is almost like saying, well, I don't want to go to a Spanish class because I can't speak Spanish. But you're going to the Spanish class to learn Spanish. So you don't have to be able to speak it. So equally, you don't have to be fit to start doing exercise. You just don't. So please don't be afraid to start. Equally, if you haven't done any for a while and you want to rejoin or restart, please do just come back. Don't be worried about it. I've had in the past, some of you might have said this to me. So sometimes when people have been off classes for a while out in the community, and they have come back, and when they come back, oh, I'm so sorry, I've not been to class for ages, Samantha. This has happened, and then I've been doing this, and then this happened, and I'm so sorry that I've not been back, which is so sweet, and I do appreciate the care, but I do not require an explanation from you. You do not have to explain to me. Honestly, I am not your exercise police. I'm not thinking, why have you not been here for a month? Why have you not been exercising for 10 weeks? I'm just happy you've come back. I'm just happy. I'm just happy that you've remade that commitment to yourself to get working again and do some exercise. Okay. I'm really not your exercise police. I'm hopefully here to be your exercise motivator. Okay, so exactly, Becca, you got to start somewhere. You absolutely do. So yeah, I'm sure if I can do I know, Lisa, I mean, you super capable. You're stunning, especially at yoga. But I understand what you're saying with your medical conditions. You are an inspiration. Anyone, Lisa can do it, you can do it too. Someone throws that making me. Oh, thank you, Katie. Definitely. Everyone is so friendly, that's true. For sure. So what time do you guys start work? So you start work at 9, 10 o'clock. Okay. So a bit later. You start work at 8:30, finish between 4 and 5. Cool. Yeah, it is interesting to know what time you guys start work in the mornings and finish in the evenings for me able to maybe to tag some quick sort of 15-minute workouts and run club on. Because I don't think the lunchtime ones were working, the lunchtime lives. So I'm going to start doing some more mornings and evenings as well on Facebook Lives, and they'll be there recorded so you can catch up with them anytime. Right then, so all that's really left for me to say is I hope you have a great evening. Wow, that's gone on longer than I planned. I'm sorry if I've kept you too long. But happy International Women's Day, everybody. And I hope that you have an amazing evening. Don't forget, if you want to jump in on the Spring to Life program next week, it's £12. You can book it now. We're going to be doing workouts. You're going to get recipes. You're going to get motivation for your steps, your food, your water, your sleep. All right. So have a great evening, everybody, and I will see you very soon. Namaste.